Hi, my name is John Rios, and I'm going to discuss the book Where Good Ideas Come From by Steven Johnson. After watching the TED videos and his YouTube videos, I believe this Pecha Kucha will encompass everything that the book has to offer. Johnson explains in the book that innovation and creativity are fractal. They occur by following the same 7 patterns throughout the world, like a city or a coral reef. It is interesting that these two can correlate to one another. Culture can evolve the same way nature does. More importantly, the world has proved that in both settings that innovation has its best chance of happening when ideas can be connected and not protected. Usually we lament the generation of new ideas. We like to believe in that breakthrough moment where one individual jumps ahead many generations with his idea. But real life is quite different. Ideas are connected similar to doors. Open a door and you can see new ideas, but only if they are connected. It's by learning from other people's ideas or previous ideas of our own that we come up with new ways of seeing the world. It's a constant connection of innovation. The key is not to isolate your room or your idea. Instead, try to connect as many doors, peoples, places, ideas as possible. Ideas are not considered single elements. They are more like digital networks. They are not sparked by the connections between different elements. They are those connections. For ideas to happen, you have to place them at your disposal in environments where more connections can occur in the right way. Here I represent the two networks as human connections and network connections. The human connection is more tangible because you have instant feedback. As to the network connection, one problem that might occur is that the network could go down. Sometimes ideas can be considered hunches. They connect and evolve into something valuable. Patience is the way to go with this idea. If it feels new, chances are that it's not very valuable. It takes time to open all the doors necessary in a network that can lead to an innovative idea. Most of the time, most slow hunches never turn to something useful because our day-to-day gets involved and it gets in the way. We forget before we even have a chance to make a connection to make it grow. One idea is to always write things down. If you always have a memo or something to remind you of this idea, that's a good thing. Sometimes it's best to let innovation just happen. Serendipity covers this whole idea. It can be a happy accident, it could be a hunch that's explained differently, but it's that moment where everything seems to click, as represented by the movie Serendipity featuring John Cusack and Kate Beckinsale. The elements you look for serendipity is it has to be meaningful. A lot of stars have to align to get everything going. Also, it's a good idea to look around, see what's available to you. The internet is open for many ideas, but once that light bulb goes off, you're pretty much there. Mental blocks are good. It takes a couple of errors to get something going. Environments tend to be loud and boisterous, but you can develop things from there. It leads to an unpredictability that could lead to innovation. Attempting to eliminate every uncomfortable element is not a good thing. Looking at these two screens can be the most worrisome thing ever. But there's no reason to fret, because there's ways to fix it. If these screens never came up, we would not be able to fix anything. So it's not a good idea to worry about it. Sometimes it helps to fail in order to succeed. The more connections the network encourages, the more diverse the purpose and usefulness of something becomes. This is very likely idea based on a big city, because there's more people involved, so you get more things going, as opposed to a small town where there's only a certain amount of people and you can't really elaborate on ideas. Looking at the iPad here, it could pretty much do everything. Well, not everything, but it is such a tangible device that it explains the idea of adaptation so that it can have more than one use. The apps allow for it to be a very versatile device. With the idea of platforms, they try to push each other. Apple, Nokia, HTC, Motorola, and Samsung all are technically working together to force innovation. One company does something, another company elaborates, another company elaborates, and so on and so on and so on. When freeing up your ideas, they need to be innovative. Once you free that idea, everyone comes together and works on it. As my slide shows, that in the proper channels, quadrant 4, something like this can be tangible. When information is left over, they can be locked up by our self-need to protect it. Sometimes that could be good, and sometimes that could be bad. There's always a balance to keep. You always have to make sure that your intellectual property is protected, but good enough so that someone else can use it and help expand on it. As we come to the end of this video, I will leave you guys with a quote. All of us have great ideas from time to time. The challenge is how to put more of them into action to help solve the world's biggest problems. Writers like Johnson remind us that good ideas are most often the result of people building on others' ideas, either individually or together, and having a fertile environment in which they can prosper. Bill Gates wrote this, and I thought it was a good way to sum up all the ideas that I presented here in my video.